First of all, how do you function when you don't have a head?
Right.
And AU as the supposed head is a useless entity. It's dead. There is no leadership there. The African Union Commission is totally useless. And so until we have a head to really lead these institutions, there's no blood coming out of the head.
Right.
There's no leadership. So the lack of leadership at the AU paralyzes the other organs.
What would you attribute that lack of leadership to?
It goes back to 1963.
Sure.
When our African leaders came together in an effort, of course, at the invitation of Emperor Haile Selassie, in an effort to regroup an Africa that speaks with one voice, an Africa that had one military, an Africa that had one stock exchange, one monetary policy, monetary fund, an Africa with one customs union. We failed in 1963 to build an Africa that was united, that spoke with one voice. The Casablanca group, who were saying Africa for the Africans, African Union now. And unfortunately, there were only 7 countries.
Right.
They lost. The Monrovia group, who were the majority, NATO was in full force. Brown envelopes, as we call them now, were being passed around. A lot of infiltration of the agenda. Consequently, what should have been an outcome that would have given Africa, that would have put Africa on a different trajectory, was destroyed.
Right.
Thanks to NATO and their job. They're good. They're so good at divide and conquer. They were in full force in 1963.
Right.
They followed with all efforts of the leaders that came up, the African leaders who were Pan-African, who tried to pull back from colonization. They assassinated them. We had citizens in the United States, if you look at the Black Panther coming out of the Caribbean, the likes of Marcus Garvey. We had all these Pan-Africanists, all these activists. They systematically killed all of them.
Right.
So we went through a period where people got scared. They backed off. They were afraid to speak the truth.
Right.
NATO has been in full force.
Right.
The infiltration of the African and all people of African descent by certain powers that want to see to it that Africa is forever the provider of natural resources, provider now of cheap labor. They are still in full force. Let's go back to the African Union. Let's look at when the current chair was appointed. Everybody that tried to run with him, run against him, they were eliminated.
Right.
Can you tell me the entire continent could not find somebody to run against Musa Faki Mahamat?
Right.
But that's what happened.
Right.
He ran completely unopposed. Brown envelopes were circulating.